From the earliest marks of human thought to modern breakthroughs, South African history is carved with an indisputable intelligence, innovation, and resilience. The earliest artifact found on Earth that points towards human using instruments for counting, for mathematics, was found in the Limpopo Mountains between South Africa and Swaziland. In Stilbaai, the ancient fish traps built by the strandlopers show an in-depth knowledge of tides, seasons, and migratory patterns, evidence of early climatology and applied science. It is in the cradle of humankind that we stood up almost 3 million years ago to fight against the elements and build modern civilization. In more recent history, we have shaped international art, international music movements, and we have changed the face of medicine with the first successful heart transplant. We have led the world in justice and reconciliation with voices of giants like Archbishop Desmond Tutu and poets like Breiten Breitenbach and Oswald Machali, showing that empowerment through knowledge is not a new idea, it is an ancient truth. Yet, there is a truth that we need to confront. The undeniable and immeasurable impact of our recent history that robbed generations of young people of their hopes, their futures, their dreams, and their self-worth is not being addressed. It is being repeated. Of the 5 million young people aged between 18 and 25 in South Africa, only 1.7 million are enrolled in institutions of higher education. This includes universities and TVET colleges. This means more than half of our youth are locked out of opportunity, not due to lack of ability, but because of a system of corruption that continues to fail them. This does not include the youth excluded over the past 30 years. Twice this term, I asked the Minister whether she will turn the ship around to focus on the future of the youth and break the cycle of corruption. Both times the Minister answered yes, but the reality tells a different story. It tells us of a minister that has misled this House. Under Minister Nkabane, the ongoing chaos at NSFAS, the well-documented infrastructure dilapidation at universities and TVET colleges, the inhumane conditions of student accommodation and leadership paralysis in SETAs has not been addressed, and they tell a different story. Students being defunded mid-year is not a rumor. Dormitories with no electricity is not an isolated event. Maladministration in SETA with learners waiting for years to receive certificates of completion, keeping them locked out of opportunity, is not an exaggeration. But when we raise concerns about SETAs in the Select Committee, the department accuses us of being led or misled by the media. We do not rely on sugar-coated reports that hide the depth of maladministration, corruption, and fraud. There is a Shona proverb, knowledge is a garden. If it is not cultivated, it cannot be harvested. The department is failing to cultivate knowledge, to cultivate our future. The DA does not only believe in the potential of all young people. We take action. We engage, we listen, and we push for data-driven, people-informed interventions. And our impact and our input is grounded in what we see and what we hear on the ground. From students, parents, lecturers, and employees. It is not from headlines. Therefore, Deputy Minister Gondwe has spearheaded several initiatives, including the department's help desk that has handled nearly 25,000 queries with an 89% resolution rate. A crackdown on bogus colleges is underway through interdepartmental cooperation involving SAPS, Home Affairs, Labour, the Hawks, and MPA. A campus safety initiative has been launched with a Commission of Gender Equality and Health, robust oversight in 9 provinces that focuses on the challenges of TVET and community colleges, a signed MOU with Old Mutual to support students with ShopRite, Microsoft, Takealot, and Lenovo all in the pipeline. Also, Goldfields built 500 houses for students through a public-private partnership, and further practical steps that bridge the gap between graduation and employment negotiated by the Deputy Minister is the KZN Public Works Department, under the leadership of MEC Martin Meyer, committed to hiring qualified TVET artisans and requiring contractors to do the same. And there is a negotiation to have an MOU in Itlangzeni TVET College and with the municipalities of Mkumasi and Mbombela to absorb qualified graduates into local government. But these interventions are not the system. More than 90% of the department's budget is transferred to entities. Yet, there is limited and weak oversight. Performance is poorly tracked, and outcomes do not match investment. We've repeatedly warned that SETAs must be monitored more closely, with proper accountability for underperformance, and they must deliver relevant skills, real certificates, and actual pathways to jobs. Currently, their lack of return on investment is indefensible. We need a budget that builds futures, closes the gap between learning and employment, and offers hope to young people. But under Minister Nkabane, this budget fails to spend effectively. It fails to address structural barriers, and it fails to transform inherited inequalities into real opportunities. And most damning of all, it fails to account for the corrosive impact of corruption. Corruption diverts resources that is meant for redress. It not only steals money, but it steals the dignity of young people. It steals their futures. Therefore, we cannot support this budget under the current minister. In a space where we should be investing in tomorrow's leaders, in tomorrow's thinkers, in tomorrow's musicians and sportsmen and women, there is no room for corruption. This is not a political point. It is a human point.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.